Hello, everybody. Welcome. Roses like investigator. Hello, huh. Everybody, welcome. Roses like investigator. So, hello, everybody. It's Sunday. It's exactly 8 p.m. Not Cinderella time. So, guys, wow, I feel like so much has happened. I had, Friday was a very intense day. I'm going to talk about it. And then kind of uh, making sense of it yesterday and then today kind of back on. Okay, so I will warn you that I'm kind of behind on news, but just to give you an update and thorough update. Okay, so just 1 second, and I'll be right back. So I'm back. I got some crystals and I changed it to the position. So wow, so guys, so the first thing, what's the protection? I like to ask for protection, beautiful light coming into my head as I breathe in. I feel my lungs as I breathe out. I create a circle. I create a circle. I step into it. I step into it. I feel protected. I feel connected. I like to ask that information come only from the highest sources, that it create the good and not the good, so it is. Okay. So let's get started here. So the first thing, of course, that and I'm you guys may already know this because I posted about this on the comments. And it was on the last video as well. So I also wanted to thank Kathy and Pat A from Boston. Uh, and I don't know, Pat offered me one ticket, and Kathy and I were talking, and by the way, Kathy, if you're, I can buy it off from you if you have an extra ticket because it was, at the time. So I had this, I had to meet this person. It was kind of actually a pretty stressful meeting. And then I was looking at the clock. It was Friday, right? At 10 a.m. They're supposed to open the ticket sales. And I got off the meeting at like 9:52 or something. And then I had to like log on, create a profile. Anyway, long story. And the line was so long. So at that point, I didn't really know that I would be able to get a ticket, but it went through. First, my credit card was like, they thought it was a fraud. And then I used PayPal and it went through. Uh, and, uh, and it worked out. So I have a ticket. Corinne is going to come to meet me. It's exciting. And people mentioned also it was some like sculpt. It was for through Ticketmaster, but they only had like, it was like it said it was a resale, but I don't care. I had to have it because it was such a big event, and it was a big event because I had looked into it because there's just a lot involved, and I never ever guys. It's been years since I've been to even a concert. I don't go out. I lived a very uh how do you say it, like I didn't have much money at all for a long time, so I didn't go out much, and so like nothing. So for me, even though yes it was expensive, yes it was sculpt, and it was probably the most I've ever paid for anything, for a ticket of anything, it was worth it. Okay, because it's so meaningful. Also, the channel took on this whole other, like it grew in a different way because of Kamala. So, and I know that sometimes I get mad at people, get mad at me because I stick by it, right? Corinne does too. Kamala, oh yeah, she won. So it's beautiful, really, and uh, and that's the story for now. Okay, about this, and then looking into it, I had seen. Remember, I was like, oh my god, I'm going to be there. Yes, I'm there, and I'm crying. And I know some of you also got tickets, so when it gets closer, we'll figure it out. And Corinna is coming. We're meeting for the first time. Isn't that cute? That's good. I've known Corinna since what, for like probably what, 6 years or something online. I've never met her. I've also never I only saw Corinna's face like a few months ago. This whole time that she was in my group, she was my client for a long time, and I never saw her face. I never made, I never. It wasn't like, please, please go. Excuse me, I need to see your face. It was like natural. So it's all nice, guys. It all works out, and it's exciting. And sometimes life, you have to take chances. You have to go for things that feel special, and this feels very special and kind of a big moment. Um, and also, I think I can say it because Karina is going to come back on Tuesday to make a video. Today's Sunday. Um, we think there is a strong possibility that trash could be gone. Okay, so there cod be something, even honestly, while she's here, something big could happen. And I guess guys, I can never wait, and I'm like, I'm gonna be secret. No, I'm not gonna be secret. But we looked into it today actually when we were talking on the phone, and then the spirit said for her to come earlier because if something were to happen, right, there could be some disruption to air travel and such. So it said to come, earlier than that. So it's exciting. So it's all exciting. It seems like almost crazy, right? Like new or something. Like, are we crazy to? But it would be a wonderful thing, and I'm excited about it. And that was Friday morning, and then that evening, I went to see Hamilton. So, so Hamilton is interesting. Ever since James, remember James from Revolutionary War came through, I became very interested. And I think it was in May or something. I had just moved, or like April or May when I moved into the office. He came through, remember? Ever since then, I was like, oh, I have to go see Hamilton. But I remember like the tickets are really, we talk about expensive tickets. They're very expensive. There's no such thing as a cheap, as someone that said, oh, Rose, you got a nice seat. Yes, I got an orchestra seat and it's just one person. So it's easier to find, when it's just like one. But at the same time, the tickets are all very expensive. So honestly, $50 more does not make a huge difference, like in the price. So so that was that. That was nice. And so okay, so let's talk about it. I of course I went to see it, and I wanted to say that I want to watch it several times as on the TV on Disney Plus. I think they have it on, and also listen to the sound to it as a soundtrack because there's a lot that I don't think I got right. There's a lot of details and a lot of details about the different characters. Um, and okay, so but anyway, but having said that, it was such a perfect date for that, right? First of all, that I was, and this is a moment where of democracy. Democracy is under attack. We have orange terrorists in power. We have all the values that the Alexander Hamilton espoused under attack. So, and he was an immigrant, and the story, like those stories alone, are incredible. But then when you mix the way that the music, the contemporary influence of hip hop, and the basically the humanizing of the founders, and this is what storytelling really is all about, right? And I was on saying this, when each person you can see their lives through we could each be them and understand how they see the world. And this is it's a very, very empowering event when you go watch it and see that it's just like it was like it's very much they're just like you kind of feeling. And it was so beautifully done, and the actors were, I mean, spectacular. And essentially, I have to tell you, I'm not a fan of musicals. I find that I struggle sometimes. I'm more of like, I guess what I grew up, it's like more like real theater, right? Where there's like more drama and like intensity, but this is everybody's just singing. But I understood something about American culture, right? Because it's about the pop culture is everything here, I think. So it was just like, but anyway, the actors are like all incredible singers, dancers, and everything. Um and uh and and everything was just, the costumes were great, everything was great. It was just so intense. It was just so intense, and to be watching that play in person during this time, I was crying throughout, different things. And I think, I'm sure you guys also cry for different things when you're watching something, and you think of your life and you think of everything that's happening, and the founders and what they're observing from the other side, and our hopes and fears and all that. So it really was incredible. So I'm going to continue to get better acquainted with this, and I know that. So if anybody is interested, I really, like I said, it's one of those things that it's worthwhile saving for, because it's not like going to the theaters, going to see the play, right? It's something that is just so wonderful. It's a masterpiece on so many levels. So it's worth it. And I think for people, someone mentioned that her son, a 13-year-old, I think she said, or 10, I don't remember, but she said her son loves Hamilton, and several people mentioned their kids love it. And I even see little kids, uh 10, not little, but some like 10 or something. They were there loving it, knowing the songs. It was cute. So they feel like it could be them. It's part of them. And it was wonderful. TMI, but there was one bad thing that I can describe it. The line for the bathroom. I've never seen like the bigger, either like the intermission consists of you going to the entire time you go to the bathroom. That's it, because it was so long. So that was, I have one criticism. Excuse me. No. And then I was walking, that man said, it was hilarious. I started laughing. He laughed back. He said, they should have the pens for Hamilton. True. So that you don't have to get up. So that was funny. Anyway, so that was that. That was really a wonderful thing. So processing all of it, and then Kamala, tickets for Kamala, and so that was just really a wonderful thing. And then again, this whole possibility, positivity, and all that. It was a wonderful thing, and so so that was it. Now, then we have so then, uh, okay, okay. So So I wanted to say, I had mentioned earlier, right, that so I got Karina was excited. So we're emotional. Her family was emotional. Her husband was emotional. Everybody was excited. Karina, she's getting ready to come over. She's dealing with some things to get ready mentally for fear of flying and such. Uh, but um, but anyway, so we started looking into this and what's going to happening here, and then afterwards, and we got into asking, when she should come, if something. So it could even be that, so she's gonna come earlier, even like 5 or however many days earlier. That's the nothing official. I just looking into it, and the spirit said for her to come earlier, because if something were to happen, it could disrupt travel, right, for a few days. So can you imagine? I'm not saying, guys, but it would be cool. Like imagine trash goes, Quinn and I are here together. We can make videos together constantly, not constantly, but you know what I mean? Like it'll be like, wow, amazing to be this historical moment. That they're saying yes, there is a strong possibility. So, okay. And again, just September 24th is the day of the event of when Kamala comes to give a speech, a talk. It's her book tour. Okay. All right, so that's interesting, right? Interesting. Wow, and I see McCain tapping. He's like, "Good job." It's like, it's kind of. It seems excited. It seems like a thing. It seems like a thing. So, and then things are gonna speed up after that a lot. And like I said, guys, I have not been watching the news the last couple of days. Okay, it's not a lie. It's like I do read briefly, but I don't sit and like consume the normal way. Okay. But having said that, there is one thing I want to discuss today, which is the hands of trash. Okay, so okay. And of course, from time to time. Okay. Okay. So in the last few days, there were pictures of his hands and comments that connected to the cankles is a sign of congestive heart failure. And you know what I was thinking that it was interesting? It reminded me of something that my son that had serious heart surgery, right? But my mother, there was one time she had a years ago, more than a decade ago, she had a ankle surgery. So one of her ankles is a little thicker, I think. But there was a tiny bit of fluid retention in one leg versus the other. My mother's quite slim, and it's not like she's bloated or like, you know what I mean. Like some people are a little bigger or whatever. No, she doesn't have it. So when she went to with my stepdad to the cardiologist, and the cardiologist immediately was like, "We have to talk. I have to see you. What's going on?" Because he saw just the littlest, and this is supposedly a very famous, very good cardiologist here, and then they said no, she doesn't have anything. It's not nothing to worry about, but he was that concerned when he saw just the littlest uh, fluid retention that's uneven, right? So, so when you think about it, like, when you see the amount, how swollen Trump's ankles are, and in that kind of like somewhat irregular way, you could tell there's something very off there. And then I remembered again this whole experience with a cardiologist. So then we have the hands. Okay, so let me just share here this. Uh, okay, because the picture, it's not just the hand, it's the whole picture looks very bad. Okay, all right. Okay, so you see here the hand. I had not see this is like actual, and this is just like face make. I have that right from the foundation, thick foundation. It doesn't match, right? Because he's so red and long story. And then, but guys, the thing that also shocks me a little is look at his face. Yes, he wears the tan constantly, but he looks pale and ill. I mean, not that we care about him that much, but compared to his other regular whatever, he looks very deflated and weak. So you see, like even you can just see here. I'm not gonna click on it because I don't want to get whatever. But look, and it compared. That's right. You can compare to other people, right? It's just he look, and then even the eye bags, like that's another form of fluid retention. You could see. Um, and it even looks like he's lost weight, which is bad. And it's funny the way they're looking at him, kind of interesting. Okay. So again, I think also if a person gets IV on their hands, they can easily get bruised, right? But it's just that he has many signs that there's something very wrong with his health. And I'm asking this, even though I don't look at this that often because I didn't get the sense that it would be his health would be the way out for him, like the way that he would leave government. But connecting the September 24th event, the fact that something could happen, looking at he does not look well. So the question is, let's ask, okay, so okay. So what's going to happen to him? I mean, it could be anything from stress or health or right. So because I saw some disruption earlier, What? So tell me about Trump's health between now. Mm, my face. Interesting. I see two things. It keeps showing me, even though it's not the heart technically, him uh blood on his stool. Like he's had a lot of digestive issues. Blood, like a lot of blood in his stool, diarrhea, a lot. And something, and then I see some liver, it's pretty serious liver issue. Okay, veno hepat. It's a blockage of a vein in there's a name for it. Hepat, Hepatic venal congestion, something like that. And it's saying that's one of the ones that go to the heart. It's saying that's a form of wow, let me look it up actually. Uh, okay, so here, heart failure can cause liver damage due to hepatic venous congestion, also known as congestive hepatopathy. This occurs when the liver's outflow veins are blocked, preventing blood from returning to the heart, often due to right-sided heart failure. This leads to increased pressure within the liver, impaired blood flow, reduced oxygen, and potential liver injury or failure. A phenomenon sometimes called acute cardiogenic liver injury or shock liver. So that's kind of like wow. And then I see him, they giving, shock. Boom. They have to, it's like reviving him or something. Yeah, wow, they give him adrenaline. That's right. I see they have to like give him adrenaline. That he's just, I see he passes out. Wow, they find him. Wow, woo, passed out and vomit. Whoa. But because the thing is, guys, he's a commitment to evil. He's a very evil person. You notice a lot of evil people, disease does not bother them because they don't get stressed about it. They're like, oh, I'm with darkness. I don't care about this stuff. I don't care. I'm fine. I'm always fine. So, wow. So, and then I see here that I think the situation is pretty dire. Yes. Then I see JD Vance preparing to, and then I see him even, okay, getting up, going to ask for help for Russia from the Pentagon. I see JD Vance kind of getting, oh yeah, it's time to get ready, get ready. But then I see that he has hand getting grabbed. Like if there's an opportunity, let's see, and very likely there's an opportunity, I think they will not. Does it make sense? Even if it could, so, but it is telling me that in fact could be that this is the perfect circumstances for him to leave Trump. And then as JD Vance may try to get his place, the whole thing is halted because of the whole treason situation. So, so what? Any advice? Any advice for us here about what to do, what to expect? Take a breather. Take one day at a time. And it has never happened before. It will never happen again. It's saying. So it ain't over until it's over. And by the way, Kathy mentioned Kathy Beal from a professional Aquarian. The astrologer, right? She said, did you see Kamala's song? It ain't over till it's over, right? So wow, guys, oh wow, today's the 24th, so it's in a month exactly. That's right. A lot could change very quickly. So, okay. Wow, guys, crazy time is crazy timing. So, okay. Wonderful chatting information with you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. I'll come back regular time tomorrow. Okay. Bye bye. Thanks for watching.